Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Hussnain Ali from Bagh School, chemistry teacher, grade 12, 13, A levels. Students, this is the paper that was taken in mock 2 examination March 2020. This is paper 2. We have done the paper 1 in the previous videos. Here in this paper, we would be going through the questions that were asked within the paper. So today, our first question that we would be discussing is the question number 1. It was about the molar calculations. In the first question, the examiner was saying most submarines travel underwater using electrical power from batteries. The German engineer Helmut Walter designed a diesel engine that could be used to propel a submarine beneath the surface of the sea. Instead of taking air from above the surface of the sea, Walter engine used hydrogen peroxide to provide oxygen for a conventional diesel engine. Hydrogen peroxide may be catalytically decomposed to give water and oxygen. A subpart 1, he was asking what is meant by the term catalyst. So students, we have gone through the definition of the catalyst. The complete definition of the catalyst is a substance that speeds up a chemical reaction by reducing activation energy of a reaction and providing an alternative path to the reaction without being used up. So this is the complete definition of the catalyst. In the second part, he was asking construct a balanced equation for the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. So in the case of decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, water is formed along with oxygen is formed. So you can write this equation for your convenience in this form. So I have given the answers in the green, highlighted them in green. Further, he was saying diesel fuel may be considered to consist of hydrocarbon C15H32, which reacts completely with oxygen according to the following equation. This is the basically of the combustion of the C15H32 molecule, giving 15 carbon dioxide and 16 water molecules. So in the B part 1, he was saying to which homologous series does C15H32 belong? So it belongs to alkanes, as the alkanes have a formula of CnH2n plus 2. This C15H32 fits in that formula. So our compound belongs to the homologous series of alkanes. In the second part, he was asking use the equation above and you answer to A2 to calculate the amount in moles of H2O2 that will provide sufficient oxygen for the complete oxidation of 1 mole of C15H32. We know that for 1 mole of C15H32, 23 moles of oxygen are required for its complete decomposition, while in the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, from 2 moles of hydrogen peroxide, 1 mole of oxygen is formed. You can see the equations also. So if we have to decompose 1 mole of if we have to combust 1 mole of C15H32, we have to be producing about 23 moles of the oxygen. So for the production of 23 moles of oxygen, we would be needing hydrogen peroxide. So 1 mole of oxygen is formed from 2 moles of hydrogen peroxide. So 23 moles of oxygen would require how much of hydrogen peroxide? It comes out to be 46 moles. So this was the methodology to calculate the number of moles of oxygen that would be required for the complete combustion of 1 mole of C15H32. In the next question, he was saying a submarine equipped with a Walter engine used 212 tons of diesel fuel during an underwater voyage. The submarine also carried concentrated hydrogen peroxide. 1 ton is equal to 10 raised to the power 6 grams. In the C part, he was asking, the part first of C was saying calculate the moles calculate the amount in moles of diesel fuel used during the underwater voyage. So we have to calculate the moles of the diesel fuel that were used in the underwater voyage. 212 tons of diesel was used. So for the sake of calculation, N is equal to M over MR. So our mass comes out to be 212 into 10 raised to the power 6 grams. So the MR of the C15H32 is 212. Dividing the M by MR, we get 1 into 10 raised to the power 6 moles of the diesel fuel that is used in the underwater voyage. In the C second part, he was saying use your answer to B2 and C1 to calculate the mass in tons of hydrogen peroxide used during the underwater voyage. So we know that 1 mole of C15H32 required 46 moles of hydrogen peroxide. So the total moles of C15H32 used in underwater voyage were 1 into 10 is to power 6. So for the sake of the hydrogen peroxide moles required, we have written here X. So X comes out to be 46 into 10 is to power 6 moles. So converting the moles into mass comes out to be moles into MR. So 46 into 10 is to power 6 multiplied by the MR of hydrogen peroxide, that is 34, comes out to be 1564 tons. So this was the mass of hydrogen peroxide that was used for the complete combustion of 212 tons of the C15H32 diesel fuel in the underwater voyage. In the D part, he was saying the exhaust products of the water engine were passed into the sea. What would happen to them? So we know C15H32 have been combusted into water and carbon dioxide. So they would dissolve in the seawater. This was the answer of the D part. So students, I have given you the answers and highlighted the answers in the green. Please go through the answers and do solve them on your own so as for the practice purpose. Take care. Allah Hafiz.